Good morning or good afternoon, Tigers. Today we'll be watching a video on Quzzette 707.5. As always, please make sure that you write your last name, comma, first name, and that you write today's date. I believe today is the 18th. Today I'll circle green class. Make sure you circle the appropriate class color. Number 1 on each day is going to ask you to convert a fraction into a decimal. And I'm actually going to go a little ahead and I'm going to show you how to make that into a percentage. I want this for every single day regardless of the instructions. I want it. So we have 5 over 8, and I'm going to convert that into a decimal. So I divide the numerator by the denominator. That will clearly get me a decimal every time because 8 does not go into 5 evenly. So you have to start the decimal process. 8 goes into 50. How many times? 8 times 6 is 48. 50 minus 48 is 2. 8 doesn't go into 2, so I have to bring down a 0. 8 goes into 20 how many times? 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract that, you get 4. Bring down another 0. 8 goes into 45 times, and 8 times 5 is 40. Alright, so my decimal is 0.625. That's my decimal. Now, if I want to convert that into a percentage, I just have to move the decimal place 2 places to the right. So 2 places to the right. So it would be at 62.5%. So 62.5%. That's the percentage of the decimal and of the fraction. So you started off with 5 over 8. 5 over 8 equals 0.625. Which equals 62.5%. Which makes sense because look at 5. If you had a pizza and it had 8 slices, somebody ate 5. They ate 62.5% of that pizza. So it does make sense. That's a good way to connect your fractions and your percentages. Just see if it makes sense. Can 5 be 62.5% of 8? Yes, you can. Number 2. Number 2 and number 3 are kind of like review. I would like for you to use a number line, but you can solve it mathematically first. Number 2 says add -5 plus -1. Please write this. Same sign, add, and keep. So they have addition between them. That's like check 1. Now you look at their signs. They're both negative. So if they have the same sign, you add them together and you keep their sign. 5 plus 1 is 6. Keep their sign is negative. So it's -6. You can also do this on a number line. And it's go to the left 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that you're at -5. So this is where you're at. Now it's saying go into the positive direction. Oh wait, go into the negative direction one more. So left 1. You end up at -6. And that matches your answer. See that? Now let's do number 3. Number 3 already doesn't meet a requirement. It has subtraction. Every time you see subtraction, you must change it to the addition of the opposite. So -2, the first one stays the same. Subtraction turns into addition, and the -2 inside the parentheses, the opposite of -2 is +2. Now you can do the song. Same sign, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. These have different signs. 2 minus 2 is 0. Keep the sign of the bigger number. Well, they're both the same number, so there's no bigger number. This is actually considered a 0 pair or additive inverses. This is what that is. Number 4. I actually forgot to do the number line, so let's do the number line first. So you go to the left 2, because that's in the negative direction. So now you're here. Then it says go in the negative direction, go in the opposite of the negative direction. Now that'll confuse you on a number line, so why don't you just do what you did here? You go left 2, and then you go to the positive direction 2. So right 2. So if you're here, and you go right 2, you end up at 0. And that matches your answer. Now I'm going to do number 4. Eve drank 1/4 of a glass of water in the morning. Okay, so she drank 1/4 of a glass of water in the morning. And 2/3 of a glass in the afternoon. How much water did Eve drink in all? So you're going to add these two together. One thing you can do is you convert both of those into a decimal, and then you can add them together. But your answer says, write your answer as a fraction or as a whole or mixed number. So we still need fractions. So even if we were to convert these into decimals, they still want the answer in a fraction form. So we can't do that. Now, these do not have the same common denominator, but I know that I can multiply the second fraction by 4/4 and the first fraction by 3/3 so that I get 12 on the bottom. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Now the second fraction. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. Now I can add them together. 8 plus 3 is 11. And then the denominator stays the same. So 11 12. Now we can say Eve drank 11 12 cups of water total. So for number 4, each day, I want you guys to write a sentence. I want you to solve it as a fraction, not as a decimal. And always box your answers. Number 2 and number 3 for each week, I want you to write a number line. I want you to write the steps. And then obviously box your answer. Number 1, convert it into a decimal and then to a percentage. So again, remember, when you're converting to a decimal, you're just dividing the numerator by the denominator, and it'll always get you a decimal. When you want the percentage, you just shift the decimal 2 places to the right, and then put the decimal right there where it belongs, and then at the end, you draw the percentage symbol, like I did right here. So 62.5%. That's what I want for every single day on number 1. Thank you, Tigers. Good luck on this Quzzette.